Okay. So, we are living through a really awful time. We are watching genocide live streamed on social media, on all our devices, and we are seeing the complicity, apathy, ineptitude of all states, of all systems that are tied into capital and colonialism. And it is Palestinians that are being massacred right now. I always like to tie this back to why I believe in this strongly, and it's not just because I care for human life, which I do. It's also because I've tried to become more conscious about my own background of my parents and the struggle of the Elam Tamil people and their struggle against settler colonialism of the singular Buddhist variety. It's through that I gain an even deeper appreciation and support of the Palestinian cause, theirs against Israeli Jewish chauvinism. And it's why it hurts so much, because back in 2009 I wasn't politicized at all. And for anybody who's watching this video, it's fine to not be aware of what the fuck's going on and to not be part of any organization that is pushing for efforts to combat that. I was there once, but no longer. And I've done a bit of learning, and I've realized that we can't despair, because Palestine, as Angela Davis says, is a litmus test for the world. And the Palestinian Liberation Movement, who is not just Hamas, there are many other armed groups and non-armed groups involved in the liberation of Palestine. They are fighting. And it may look like they're not, but they are fighting. Follow the Electronic Intifada. I feel like that's a good source for seeing what's going on. You can also follow the Combined Liberation Movement. I'm gonna forget the name for it. I did a video on it on Telegram, where you can follow play-by-plays. I found that quite depressing to watch all the horrors, because I'm already getting subjected to a lot of the horrors. But it is good to know that there is actually combat that is occurring that is harming the Israeli occupation forces, because they are the worst genocidal force we've seen in a very long time, who are completely earnest and honest about their genocidal efforts. And yet, despite so much efforts against them within the Israeli colony and outside, of just talking about how messed up this is on a logical, moral, and spiritual level, there are still people that have been indoctrinated into believing that this is what they should put their efforts towards. And it's really hard to push past. Like, where does anyone move beyond this? And as I talked about in the video, The Politics of Self-Martyrdom. Our lives have so much worth, and we owe it to the Palestinian liberation movement and every other movement that is fighting for liberation against capitalism and colonialism, cis-heteropatriarchy, caste, and chauvinism. We need to start organising. So we cannot despair. We need to be organising. We need to be organising. We need to be raising it in our everyday lives, and it's really hard. Like, not everybody does it all the time. Like, I'm guilty. It's hard. You need to, you need to keep your job. You need to survive amongst the general population. You need to keep your familial ties in certain ways, and there are certain ways you try and navigate that. But for other people, there is no way other than liberation. And if we are people that are not going to completely 100% disavow and all those people that are uninformed, as well as explicitly against movements of liberation, then we need to be organising. We can't just think that thinking that leftist ideas are good, that this actually creates change, that watching videos, that thumb upping videos, that commenting is really changing the world. Because the thing is, every effort we make in that regard, there's a lot more that we can do if we group together with like-minded people and set our sights towards combined effort about something specific. Your life has meaning, and your life has meaning based on the connections that you make with others and the efforts that you make towards the collective liberation of others. Don't believe the individualist mindset that one person can make a difference, because that only leads to a harmful ideology which makes us burn out and makes us believe that that effort was in the end worth it, whereas it's much harder to be sustained, to keep on living, because life is fucking hard. Life is fucking hard. But the love I have, the hope that I have for myself, for others, for people I care about, for people I don't even give a fuck about, the possibilities I see in the world that could be there and will be there, because we will win eventually. It's amazing, and I just can't wait for that to come. So I want to put every effort, as much as I can fight past the apathy and the frustration. We can do this, but we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. So don't despair. Get organised.